got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me.
Well, welcome to the Motorcycle Clubhouse. I'm Tabasco, your hostess the most and the Sophisticated Biker, owner of the Sophisticated Biker digital magazine and the Twisted Wind Biker mag at www.sophisticatedbiker.com or twistedwindbikermag.com. So as I mentioned, this is the Motorcycle Clubhouse. If you're not into motorcycle clubs or motorcycles or all things motorcycles or two wheels, then fucking move on, man. I swear to God, every week I get these fucking knobs on here. They're going, "Oh, you must be really smart to be in a motorcycle club. Oh, they're just a bunch of dumbasses. Oh, they're what the one guy say? South Park really had it right. They're like, dweebs or something." I'm like, "Oh, that coming from a grown man who watches cartoons, that's not very reassuring, you fuck stick." So here's the thing: if you ain't into it, then move the fuck on, because you know what? I've been stabbed in the back by people I care about. So what makes you think I give two shits of your this opinion of anything is beyond me. These are people that literally have no voice in the world. I mean, they literally have no voice. Nobody gives a shit what they say about their worthless opinion, and their old lady probably beats them down verbally every night when they get home from working at McDonald's as the fry guy, and they just have to get on social media and just run their mouth, because nobody cares. And you know what? Still nobody cares. So in some cases I've had to just turn commenting off because I ain't got time to deal with their stupid shit. And I love a good banter. I really do, because they're not very intelligent. But I'm too busy. I got way too many things going on. But I thought this week we would talk about law enforcement in the United States, because it seems to me that it's becoming, has the potential to, with the way things are going on with our government, come to a head between an us versus them type thing. And that would be us, the citizens of the United States, the free citizens, supposedly, and law enforcement, the people who do the bidding of the American injustice system branch of the executive, branch of the government. And basically, in my opinion, I mean, generally, and this is my opinion. This is not, any speaking for clubs or any club, is that they are just the street collectors for the government. They are literally the street collectors. They are the street thugs who go around and hold people up for money. The dumbest shit I've ever seen. I saw a video today where this cop cited a guy because there were people that were broad daylight. There must have been some event or festival going on somewhere, and they had a burnout pit, or they had some, I don't know what they had going on, but there was some, like maybe some short track stuff going on, 8th Mile or something, I don't know. People were racing. Well, that gets carried over into the streets. It happens in my old hometown, Columbus, Ohio, from way back when. They have the, I think it was called the Wise Guys Car Show, the fairgrounds. I mean, huge thousands of cars out there. And they go out, and all these people travel from all over, and they bring their hot rods out. And of course, at night, out on the streets, there's going to be some light-to-light races and exchanges. In fact, and burnouts at every restaurant and strip mall you can think of in the city of Columbus. And most of the times, the cops will just watch. You know what I mean? They're not there unless somebody's being unsafe or stupid. Then they're not there to interfere. But I saw this video today where this cop literally wrote a citation to a. It's I forget where they were at, Iowa or some shit, I don't know. But it's a moving violation for this black man walking down the street, watching these guys, exit the parking lot and rip off down the street. And they're like literally handing out tickets for, encouraging the exhibition of illegal activity, street racing. He's like, well, you were watching them too. He went, hell, you got a camera on? He's like, I was recording, I was walking down the street. Guys were doing burnouts and stuff. They were really writing citizen stickers. That's just pure fucking street thug theft. That's all that is, man. That's all it is. But I wrote an article, for 10 years plus in Thunder Roads magazine, and it was well received. And I wrote a lot of times about club stuff. I never used another club's name, but I also write just about, we're still citizens. We're still, bikers are people too, whether you realize it or not. And again, if you're not down with the biker thing, then just move the fuck on down your happy little fucking road and shut the fuck up, because I don't care about your opinion. But I wrote this article. I like to go back and visit articles. I mean, when you go that long, 10 years, I know that I revisited subjects because you couldn't not, but your perspective changes. But I wrote this article. Oh gosh, in fact, I don't even know what year I wrote this. In fact, let me look here. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. And just like that, without through the magic of video, you didn't even know I was gone. I wrote this article in January of 2000. No, yeah, January 15th, 2014 at 11:10 a.m. How's that for some facts, man? You think they ain't tracking, your shit? Think they can't figure out where you've been, what you're doing, where you're going? I can figure that out for myself from when I opened this file or I created the file. But so this article reads "Protect and Serve." Do you remember images from the 1950s in America of a beat cop patrolling the sidewalks, waving at citizens with a smile on his face, kind of like the Andy Griffith Show, right? Yeah, well, whatever happened to those days? I think law enforcement in this country needs a major attitude overhaul. I'm not saying aren't still some who are this way, but it seems to be the exception and not the rule. In some cases, I believe it's directly related to our government pushing their agenda on local departments. Wow, I picked that out in 14. Now look where we're at, literally 10 years down the road. And it's definitely our government pushing their agenda on local departments. Um, Still amazes me where I read articles, for example, in Des Moines, Iowa, where a father was arguing with his 19-year-old son, Tyler Comstock, after refusing to buy him a pack of smokes. And so Tyler left and took his father's company truck. His dad thought he would teach him a lesson and called the cops. Long story short, for whatever reason, Tyler ran from the cops, and he struck a police vehicle with the truck. The truck finally broke down and stopped. Once Tyler revved the engine, and the police officer Adam McPherson opened fire with 6 rounds shot into the truck, killing Tyler, even though a recently released audio recording instructed officers twice to stop following him. James Comstock, Tyler's father, said he lost his son over a pack of cigarettes. He made the same mistake other people do, most people do. They call the police thinking that they're here to help. They aren't here to help. They're here to enforce laws, and that's it. Then there was a recent case, and again, this was back in 2014. There was a recent case when 2 Fullerton, California police officers, Manuel Ramos and Jay Cicinelli, were acquitted of killing a homeless man, Kelly Thomas, in 2011. Thomas was suspected of being in possession of stolen property. When confronted, he did resist, and a small altercation ensued. Look, I'm not a cop, and I don't have to deal with it every day, all the what ifs and unknowns when dealing with criminals. But according to a published report in the LA Times, Thomas was tackled, hit with a baton, pinned to the ground, punched repeatedly in the ribs, kneed in the head, tasered 4 times, then struck in the face with a taser device 8 times. He died 5 days later as a direct result of these 2 adrenaline jockeys beating this man to death. You can look up the video of these 2 idiots beating this man to death if your stomach can handle it. Who in their right mind would believe that kind of brute force would be necessary to arrest one homeless man? If they can't use the tactics that they were taught to take an unarmed subject into custody safely, then they should never have been allowed to wear a badge. There are many caveats as to why juries must find people not guilty, but in my mind, there's absolutely no question that these 2 assholes clearly murdered this man, protecting and serving the good people of California. If I was a career in law enforcement, I would be furious and embarrassed of the countless examples that there are of the internet of so many buffoons making a mockery out of their profession. Have you seen the news about the new voluntary DNA checkpoint? In 30 cities, our government is setting up checkpoints and is requiring motorists to stop. Then they are asking for a sample of your DNA and a blood sample. Whatever. Yeah, good luck. Hell, they're even offering you tax money to anyone who will participate. This is an example of our federal government imposing their own special brand of law enforcement on local police. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, who is spending $7.9 million over the next 3 years of your tax money to violate your constitutional rights. The program is 100% voluntary. As reported by a Fort Worth citizen, Kim Pope, who was stopped on her lunch hour, it sure didn't seem very voluntary. I gestured to the guy in front that I wanted to go straight, and he wouldn't let me and forced me to pull into a parking spot. She said, once parked, she couldn't believe what she was asked next. They were asking for cheek swabs, she said. They would give $10 for that. Also, if you let them take your blood, they would give you an extra $50 for that. I know people would line up left and right for that. At the very least, she said they wanted to test her breath for alcohol. She said she felt trapped. I finally did the breathalyzer test just because I thought they would the easiest way to leave. She said, adding she received no money. To be fair, according to the article, the only employed off-duty cops to enforce the civil rights violation, so I guess that somehow makes it okay. Am I the only person who thinks that this is absolutely one of the most ridiculous communist Gestapo 100% constitutional rights violation of all time? Why are we the people allowing this? In my humble opinion, anyone who consents to this either has no idea their constitutional rights or is just plain stupid and they deserve to be fed to the slaughter as the good sheeple that they are. According to the article, a civil liberties expert attorney stated, "You can't just pull over randomly for no reason," said attorney Frank Colossi. Obviously, they can, Frank, because they do it all the time. He also noted that the fine print on any form given to driver informs their breath was tested by passive alcohol sensor readings before the consent process has been completed. They're essentially lying to you when they say it's completely voluntary because they're testing you at that moment. Our government and law enforcement lying to the good people of this nation? What? Unheard of. Can you hear my sarcasm? My personal experience over the course of my life has caused me to question everything that comes out of a peace officer's mouth. What a shame. I just can't imagine living a life so dedicated to representing other individuals. Is it a DNA anomaly, a childhood issue that they all have in common? It happens so often anymore that it's ingrained to the uniform, I think. What a miserable existence it must be. Feeling empowered to lie to people, trust no one, and impose your feeble will on others. Wow, I just couldn't imagine. Do I want a lawless society run by the biggest bullies on the block? Nope, we already have that gang. It's called law enforcement and governmental agencies around our country. There is a time and place where peace officers are needed to help defend the defenseless, arrest those who would steal your possessions, and ensure public safety. What I can't stand are hypocritical agencies that lie, cheat, steal our rights from the White House down to your local agencies. It's pathetic and sickening. They should be ashamed of themselves and they should all be sent packing. In my opinion, law enforcement should only be called upon as a total last resort of a true emergency that you can't handle yourself within the law and your rights. America, stand up for yourself. No one else is going to. Maybe if we demand it, law enforcement will get back to the original intent and duty to protect and serve. Wow. 10 years ago, I wrote that. Pretty sickening, isn't it? Because our rights have just been completely, I mean, that seems like, juvenile compared to what they do now. That's just, it's just amazing. And I can tell you that on more than one occasion, my rights have been violated, all in the name of law enforcement. Now, you know what's funny is since I retired the patch, I have had not one interaction with law enforcement. Not one, knock on wood. But, we were stopped once on the way to a concert. It was October. It was this time of year, actually right now. Really, this time of year, we were heading down to a party. It happened to be the same weekend. I've mentioned this before. I'm not sure if on a podcast, but we were heading to a party in Southern Ohio, and we was about 9 of us in a club van. We had a big long van, and we were on the same path as the students were heading to their Athens, Ohio, which is their big Halloween party. It's infamous for, Animal House, crazy shit. And I think they've quelled a lot of that now because they send like an army of law enforcement to protect and serve down there, But anyway, we had stopped at a gas station right before getting off, probably a couple miles before we were going to get off the highway. And again, we were in the same path from 33 South from Columbus to Athens. And there was an undercover. He stood out like a sore thumb in this Super America or whatever it was. And, he just got this, 50-year-old guy, tall dude too, probably 6'3", 6'4", thin, wearing a cowboy hat, looked like a trucker, but he wasn't. There were no trucks on the lot. It wasn't a truck stop. It was just a gas station. And, he's just watching everybody. And he's like standing in the back of this gas station. It wasn't a huge gas station. And then we no sooner got on, when we were going out to the van, we had also a pickup truck following us. I looked over and I seen a cruiser, a deputy sheriff, pull behind the building, and that dude walk around back. And I just told the guy, the probate was driving. I said, just keep it cool. That's a cop. I said, they're there. I said, they were watching every one of us. We were just getting some road snacks and shit for the final, I don't know, probably 30 minutes of the drive. And we didn't get a mile down the road and got task force pulled over. My fault. I owned the van, even though probate was driving. I had not put the front license plate on the front bumper. I had it in the front window of the van, which in Ohio is a law. I should have known that because I got pulled over when I was 18 for the same damn thing. And this was when I was 45 years old. But anyway, it was a cargo van. We had some bench seats mounted in it. There wasn't much in it. And I had a fast rule that anyone who traveled with me, and I was the POP, which for our nation, which was the highest rank we had at that time in our nation. And I had, a pretty staunch rule that nobody carried drugs with them if they're traveling with me. I don't care if personal use or whatnot, because I have a CCW. Several of the other guys had CCWs, concealed weapons licenses in the state of Ohio at that time. And it could cause us a bunch of grief. Any cop will tell you, oh, you're going to get charged with a felony. I mean, because there was one guy had an open container in the vehicle. That's the only thing they found after an hour and a half on the side of the road. They brought their stupid ass mind trick, Jedi trick, drug dog out. Oh, he jumped. I said, there's no fucking drugs in his car, in his van. And if there is, I'll be as surprised as you are. I said, and somebody's ass is going to be in trouble. I said, because I don't allow it. And there wasn't any drugs in the vehicle after they tossed this whole van, ripped everything they could apart, and not so much. We got a favor. They didn't charge us all with felonies that had CCWs for the one guy who didn't have a CCW, who admitted to opening a beer and drinking it, open container in the vehicle. What a bunch of fucking thug, worthless pieces of shit. Athens Sheriff's Department. That's probably Ross County, Ohio, I'm guessing. May not be, but I know it was that sheriff's department down there out of like Logan or something, or Lancaster. What a piece of shit! You guys are a bunch of fucktards. I hope somebody sends this to them. But that's the Gestapo machine guns on the side of the road, ARs, and those assault rifles everybody talks about. Those high capacity. Yeah, they needed 30-round magazines because there was 9 of us, but there was about 5 different weapons amongst us, because we have the right to carry those, in fact. But, that's just one example. Just one example of the millions of times we've been profiled by cops. Every cop, we had a cop once ask one of our long-term club brothers here down in Florida, asked him, why do you guys hate cops so much? And he said, and this guy's like, he's like 80 something now, 85, but back then he was like almost 80. He's like, whoever said I didn't like cops? He goes, I don't like being lied to. And I'm sure you don't either, but you think every citizen is the difference is you think every citizen is a criminal, and I don't think that every single cop is an adrenaline jockey fucktard like the ones that we see on many of these videos. And if you're in law enforcement, which I highly doubt you've even hung out this long, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? What is mentally wrong with you that you are such an adrenaline jockey? And I don't care. It could be man or woman, man. I've seen them both. The lady gets out, and you're just a bitch, man. You ain't nobody. Who in the fuck ever in a million years tricked you into believing that you're fucking better than anybody else? Because you're not. And you're imposing your will. You see these fucking cops, they get guys on handcuffs. Stop resisting. As if we don't fucking know that you're trained that out of the fucking academy, you fucking morons. And it comes right out of your fucking substations. Well, when you're handcuffing a defenseless person and you're hurting them, if they move, then that's resisting arrest. All I love more than anything is that resisting arrest is the only charge. Well, you're resisting arrest. What was my charge? Resisting arrest about what? So I'm resisting arrest about being arrested for no crime, for committing no crime. I mean, you can't just charge somebody with resisting arrest. Well, I guess you can, but I mean, is this the most stupid thing you've ever heard in your life? That's all about egos, narcissism, and law enforcement, adrenaline jockeys. Got weaned off the mom's tit too fucking soon as a baby, and didn't get the attention they needed. Or they're the jock who people stopped applauding for them after their last touchdown in 12th grade, and they found out the world's really a harder place than they ever thought it was going to be, because no one's here to clap for you anymore. And so you get out there and you treat the world like an asshole because you're an asshole. I mean, and here's the thing, man. I don't get it. I know some officers. I know law enforcement. I know 3 very well, very, very well. And I have no issue with them because they're not the assholes. At least they have never been to me. If they are, shame on you, because then you're just part of the problem. And that's the whole thing, man. If you're in law enforcement and you are out there being a fucking street thug, just like every criminal that's out there, then you ain't no better than them. And you're part of the problem. you're doing the bidding of, in my opinion, you're doing the bidding of the devil's work, man. You understand what you're a part of? Do you understand? Do you really even? The problem is they don't even care. I mean, they seriously don't care. They don't get into it because they want to protect and serve. You think, you want to serve somebody, go be I don't know, a waiter or something, or a waitress. I don't know. You really want to serve somebody because you ain't going to protect nobody and serve nobody. How many calls do you get? How many? I mean, give me a percentage of the number of calls that you take that somebody actually is happy to see you. I'll wait. I don't think the number is going to be very high. I think that in your week, mostly, unless somebody's just doing some stupid arbitrary, crime report for their insurance or whatever. And see, they say, there's a big saying in the motorcycle club community, we don't call the cops. Well, it's because we don't. 99% of the time, we don't. Because you know what? They're not here to help. They're going to find any reason they can to fuck with us or to, impose their will upon us. That's the whole thing. That goes from the deep state world, new world order, all the way down to your local law enforcement officer. It's about imposing their will over another human being. Who in the fuck are you to do that? You ain't nobody. And these judges, they're just as fucking crooked. And guess where they all come from? The same cesspool of lawyers that are out there making deals and trading people's lives on a golf course. That whole thing is disgusting. And it's probably one of the biggest, egregious, violations of humanity that is in existence in this world today. And it really is, and it's justified because if you don't like it, we got more thugs than you and more money that we've stolen from your taxes. So we can just basically we're gonna capture you, we're gonna kidnap you, we're gonna bound you, we're gonna put you in cages because we're bigger than you. That's exactly what it is. And then, some cops would be like, what do you want? What do you want? No law enforcement? You want like a lawless society? Guess what? For thousands of years, this planet has been just fine without your stupid asses collecting and charging people fucking court costs over the dumbest shit, writing tickets for jaywalking and shit. What a bunch of fucking chumps, man. You guys are a bunch of punks. You know what? I ain't afraid of not one of you because I'm telling you what, on a humanity level, we're even. And you know what? You might know where I live. I can find out where you live in about a heartbeat, about 2 seconds of a heartbeat. I'm telling you, I've done it. And this one guy said, "Oh, nice story you told about when I had to basically fight a cop for an hour when he tried to kill us," which is a public record. Look it up on the internet. You go to put in oh shit, I have to pull the case up and give you the case number, but it's Delaware County, Ohio, and it was gosh, I think it was like 22 or something. I can't remember what year it was. I'll find the case. Sean Hall, Brent Herring versus the Delaware County Sheriff's Department and or Delaware County itself, and Officer Mike Harder. Look it up yourself, you fucking fuck sticks. Like, I'm going to sit on here and make up a bunch of goddamn stories that out of the blue when I've got probably 500 people I went to second grade with, and I'm 55 years old that know me from the county that I grew up in and spent 46 years of my life. Think I can just make this shit up out of the blue? What a bunch of fucking morons, man. I swear, I'm starting to, like I said on that last episode, I'm about ready to agree with the World Health Organization. There is about 8 billion of you motherfuckers that need to leave the planet because you're dumber than shit. And all you do is run around and spew vile out of your mouth. And it just causes people grief. There's people out here, they're actually contributing to society, contributing to the share of information, waking up the world, showing us things that I didn't expect to be. I wish they weren't the way they were, because unfortunately, once you see things, ignorance is bliss. So if you're ignorant, just stay ignorant, because knowledge is a hurtful thing sometimes when you find out how badly we've been lied to, and how badly we're actually being treated on this planet by other human beings, and for nothing, for personal gain and satisfaction. It's disgusting, and it's coming from both sides. Club Brother asked me to make a T-shirt on our website, and I did. We have a print on demand, and it says, if you break the law, enforcing the law, you are a criminal. And I couldn't agree with that more, because it's disgusting. Yeah, and some of these cops, like I said, you want a no justice system? Look, let me tell you how the Native American tribes handled it. You know what? They had a council. Many Native American tribes, like the Iroquois Confederacy, used councils or elders of chiefs to resolve disputes and manage crime. These councils were made based decisions on the tribe's customs and traditions, and they used what was called restorative justice. Instead of punitive measures, Native American societies often use restorative justice, where offenders were expected to repair the harm that they caused. This could include compensation, apologies, or rituals to reintegrate the offender back into the community. Spiritual and communal responsibility. Many tribes saw crime as a spiritual issue, disruption to the harmony of the group. Elders or shamans played a role in mediating disputes, emphasizing healing and maintaining balance. What I'm saying by all this is we don't need you cops running around looking for people to fucking write tickets to collect more money for. Because guess what? If we didn't have your dumbasses, we'd still have a just society, because society would handle those, they always have, who weren't righteous. There was, I believe it was the Aztec? I'm looking here. Mayan civilization. No, it was one of these, all the Vikings in the Norse culture. They had a thing assembly. It's actually called, the Norse people used assemblies known as things, where free men gathered to discuss disputes, make laws, and enforce justice. These meetings acted as both courts and political assemblies. I stole that one from history, but I wonder if they were as big of liars as the ones we have today. They used wergild, W-E-R-G-I-L-D, man price. The concept of wergild, or blood money, was crucial in Norse law. If someone committed a crime, they could pay a fine to the victim's family to avoid blood feuds and maintain peace. The system helped prevent cycles of revenge and violence. Smart people. Outlawry. For severe offenses such as murder or theft, a person could be declared an outlaw, meaning that they lost all legal protection and could be killed by anyone without consequence. This was a form of banishment and significant deterrent, I guess. It'd be a form of banishment, banish you from the planet. I'm all for that. See, what I'm saying is, we, the people, would handle it. If it were held down to the law of the local communities or leaders. Here's the thing, man. Whatever it was, the first human being on the planet, the first village or tribe or whatever it was, said, hey man, we need a leader. Oh, Dave's pretty good. Dave's pretty smart. I mean, he killed that buffalo. He killed like 3 buffalo last week. He's a strong guy. Let's make him a leader. And all of a sudden, Dave decided, got a big head, and Dave decided that now he's the king, and that his 427th grandchild is better than your 427th grandchild in your generation because he's a king and he's smarter than everyone else. Boy, it just took off from there, didn't it? You know what? Makes me sick. If you're on the wrong side of law enforcement, and that is the side that's out there doing the devil's work, I wouldn't give a bucket of piss for your future when the shit hits the fan, buddy. You better be on the right side of things. Keep it real.
They got big egos, it's plain